Morning everybody. Jasper's got a little friend coming round after school today, so I am very much in a rush. First thing to do, sort out my hair. And then once I've done that, I'm hoping to have a little run, finish my editing. Oh, and of course I've got to tidy the house because I don't want it to look like, you know, we normally live like that. Shh, don't tell them. It's going to be a busy old day. Once I've got all my chores done for the day, I'm going to be talking about how that car has aged over the last 3.5 years and almost 85,000 miles. Cool! So, now, I'm going to quickly grab some popcorn because it was requested by Jasper's little friend who's coming over. Next, I have to have a quick run and a shower, and then we can talk about my car. I do like talking about my car. We're really getting through my list now. It's amazingly clean considering it was raining, chucking it down this morning. Floor is clear and I was going to say, I don't know why I'm so excited and motivated today, but actually I do know why. It's because I've got places to go for the next few days. Yes! Not sure how wildly exciting these places are going to be, but, well, probably be quite exciting. 12. That's all I've got time for. Oh, it's painful today. I made a terrible miscalculation, as in I'm supposed to have been shooting this video and instead of just been chilling out. You know when you're just basically sitting there thinking, I know there's something I should be doing? Oh, absolutely gagging for a coffee as well. I must have a coffee. Okay, while that coffee is just making itself, you know, we're gonna have to shoot half this video I think when I get to Jasper's school. A few things are different with my car now. It's got 21-inch wheels. I originally bought it with 19-inch wheels, and it's just been ceramic coated, which makes it look really nice and clean, and polishing job was excellent, etc, etc. Other than that, how has it changed over the time that I've owned it? Well, I get a little bit less range now. 236 miles max range instead of 242, I think it was, that I got. So, actually, really not a massive drop at all, considering I've done 84,500 miles now. The paint has actually stood up remarkably well to the rigours of life, I've found. It does have a few rattles. It's developed rattles. They've got worse now it's on the 21-inch wheels because they don't provide as much cushioning, but there's a bit of a rattle in one of the doors, a little bit of a rattle in the dash. It's always been a little bit squeaky, you know, that sort of way that the interior is put together is not one of Tesla's strong suits. There have been a bunch of things that have stopped working, like door handles and things like that. For the most part, Tesla have fixed them all without causing any kind of a fuss. Yeah, I mean, the seats are great. Seem to have lasted really well. Center console, likewise, no problem there. Actually, I need to unplug it because I'm going in a minute, so I'll do that now. Considering a small child hangs out in here quite a lot, we're doing well, yeah. It's a story of success in terms of how well the car has kept its form. I mean, in terms of driving, right? The driving experience is basically identical. It accelerates at exactly the same rate. It gets exactly the same efficiency it always did. Actually, I've found that all Teslas, I've driven a few loaners over the time that I've had this car whilst people have been fixing things like the door handles. Basically, they all drive exactly the same. Amazingly consistent driving feel. Actually, I think that's probably common for most EVs, but this is the one that I have the most experience with. I've had issues, you know, the biggest one of which was the tyre pressure monitoring sensor module for the, basically took down the whole CAN bus and the car wouldn't move anywhere. I couldn't even get the thing unlocked half the time. That was the only really big problem that I've had, and that was fixed for like 500 quid because it was out of warranty then. One of the other things is I actually think the looks on this car have lasted quite well. I mean, Tesla's always a little bit polarizing from a looks point of view, but I kind of feel that it's kind of got a classic look to it. And okay, so it's not the new nose fascia one. On the upside it is black, so you can't really see that definition between. I'm not a big fan of the old ones that have coloured paint and a black nose cone, personally. Aging gracefully, as they say. Having owned this for the length of time and the amount of miles that I have, I wouldn't hesitate buying an older Tesla. In particular, I wouldn't hesitate buying it from Tesla because it would come with an as-new warranty. But the fact that they can return the car to an as-new state, basically just by cleaning and polishing things a little bit, it's kind of speaks volumes for their faith in the mechanical reliability of this car. That's all I've got time for now. I'm gonna grab my coffee and go get Jasper. Now I'm waiting to go get Jasper and I can finish the video, because so far I've only talked about the things that have got worse. You know, a little bit less range, a few more rattles. Some of the things about this car have got better over the last 3 years. Firstly, it's had I don't know how many software updates, 10, 15 at least, and every software update has made it a bit more stable, and quite a few of them have added new functionality. Things like the newly added camper mode. The original DAB sound quality was shocking, like really unlistenable shocking. It's got considerably better. They've added the home link thingy. The smart air suspension can remember when you raise it up to a higher level, and sort of whenever you go back to that area, it automatically raises it. That's not a feature it came with. The nav has improved, still leaves a lot to be desired, quite honestly. But the map does now contain much more information about superchargers, like how many there are at a site, what number of them are occupied, what the max power is at the site, that sort of thing. You've also got the destination chargers, they're added in there as well now. You've got... the list is pretty endless, I can't even remember half the things that have changed whilst I've had the car. Also, charging. When I first bought the car, there was no CHAdeMO adapter. That came along quite rapidly. You did have to pay for that though, so I don't really know if that's an improvement in the car over the time that I've owned it. But one thing is for sure, however, superchargers are now everywhere. When I bought it, there was a 4-bay site just in the east of London. That was it. That was the only one. Completely useless, in other words. Now, they are literally everywhere, or more or less literally everywhere. There's still a couple of places in the UK where they could put some superchargers in, and guess what? They are going to. So if you buy a Tesla, what can you expect? You can expect the car to get better over the length of time that you've owned it. You can expect the battery to drop in range, but probably not very much. You can expect the driving experience to stay almost identical, like unnoticeably identical over the time that you own the car. And you can probably expect a few rattles, which, you know, I mean, honestly, what car doesn't rattle after 85,000 miles? So, in fact, actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't rattle very much for 85,000 miles, especially when you consider it's now on the 21-inch wheels, which definitely do make a much firmer ride, although cornering is significantly improved too. If I had autopilot, of course, that would have improved significantly over the time that I've had it. And this video is sort of somewhat prompted by my friend Mark, who has a 6-month-old Model S, a 90D, hardware version 2 autopilot, so much newer car in basically every possible respect. And I took him for a ride in my car, and he was like, you know what? This basically feels just like my car. This has done 85,000 miles. And my car has done 7. It's a very impressive feat to maintain that driving feel over such a long period of time, I think. Anyway, I'm going to call today's video to a close now, because I'm going to pick up Jasper and his little friend and go and keep them all properly entertained and give them dinner and all the rest of it, and then I'm going to try and do a little bit more of this office. But the office is getting there. I've at least finished the paperwork now. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and I will see you tomorrow for the next instalment of my daily vlog. Bye. Jasper was really good at school today. Very exciting, and all I had to do was bribe him with a friend coming round.
YouTube, I was good.
You were good, weren't you? Come on then, let's get you out.
You like me?